Welcome, everyone, to episode 61 of Kiss Me the Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I'm Luke Neely.
All right, so we do apologize for the little hiccup we had there. A couple weeks with no episodes. Had some major technical issues again with this recording program. Finally got it all hashed out. Of course, this episode you're seeing after the Big John interview the week after, so obviously we had things up and rolling. We wanted to film this first for the future. I guess to address the elephant in the room, as you noticed, Branton wasn't with us during the interview. He's not here today. Unfortunately, he decided to leave the show. It was kind of unexpected, to be honest. Kind of had suspicions that he, had something going on, but, he up and decided, he's basically burnt out. He just felt like he would contribute enough. I kind of beg to differ, but, I totally understand if that's how he felt. I support him either way. Again, we were before this cast, want the friendship to continue. Hopefully, things get better. Hey, if the door's always open, if something changes on the road. And, thanks for all the time and stuff you put into the show. So you obviously, put this together with me. I mean, Branton basically came up with the idea to do it. So we're going to keep rolling again. I mean, we've been in this situation before in the past. It's this different cast now. So, so best wishes to Branton. Just wanted everyone to know, no kind of hard feelings, anything like that. I guess for that matter, Branton and I, before this happened, we did recently get on Skype with Chuck, who was the old co-host, and we did kind of sort of patch things up with him. He wanted to, kind of give a little formal apology, to not into it much. So we appreciated that too. So, mending bridges. I don't like to hold grudges and all that myself. So best wishes to Branton, and we'll keep it going. So let you chime in here.
Indeed, yeah. No, I think you pretty much got it all. Of course, I wouldn't have had as much to say anyway because I didn't know him as long as you did. But yeah,
true.
It was definitely out of the blue. Even for me, it's definitely not something I was expecting. But yeah, sorry to see him go for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were definitely clicking well.
Yeah.
Branton has said that he feels Luke's a great, addition to the show. Again, he just felt like he wasn't, putting as much input in anymore, which, again, I didn't totally agree with that. But, and hopefully you guys can still become, better friends. Hopefully, he keeps coming around, maybe come to some shows, all that kind of stuff. I told him, I said, I don't want this to affect our friendship. So,
right.
I hope it doesn't. But, yeah, so wow, I feel like there's a lot of topics we've missed also in the last 2 weeks or whatever it's been, 3 weeks by the time you see this episode. Well, okay, so I guess the Indie Expo, a lot more guests have been announced. Well, obviously, we've got Ace, Bruce, Bob, Eric, all them guys. They added. See, I can't remember who we talked about the last time, but
right.
I know as far as I can remember, since we talked, they've added Lydia, Chris, Anton Fig, all the guys from Frail Comet, basically. Also, oh god, the names from Vinnie Vincent Invasion, the vocalist. He was at the Atlanta Expo.
Yeah, Fleischman.
Yes, sorry, Robert Fleischman. They added him, and I'm probably forgetting other names right now. Michael James Jackson, of course.
Yeah.
Now, the unfortunate news, for us at least, the tickets flew off the shelf. The Platinum and VIP were gone within, I think, like 24 hours or so, 48 hours.
Yeah.
Keith made the announcement all of a sudden on Wednesday, tickets go on sale at 7 o'clock. Well, Wednesday we were in the hospital. My wife had surgery, so that was out of the question. And next thing you know, the platinum for Saturday was gone, but Sunday was left. The VIPs were next thing you know, platinum was all gone. All the VIPs were sold out.
Yeah.
All that's left now is the general admission. So, and I had messaged Keith. I was hoping like maybe they'll release a little bit more tickets before the thing happens. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen that way. So I'm just going to have to settle for general admission this year. Main thing that sucks about that, you don't even get to go in until like 2 p.m. So, you know, merch tables will be hit up by then. As far, you know, all the other stuff that goes on, you know, then you'll have to pay the extra price for the autographs or the photos, whichever you choose. So, you know, it'll be a little different, but overall it's still going to be cool just to be there because, you know, there's so much going on.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to meeting some old faces, meeting some new faces. You know, we're still going to be walking around there both days. You know, we'll have stickers to pass out and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was really bummed when that stuff sold so quick. I was like, oh my god! And then on top of that, the cruise is sold out now too.
Is it really?
Yes.
I hadn't even heard that. Wow.
So I don't know. You know, Ace being on it is probably a big part of that.
Right.
It never sold out that quick. So I mean, it's, you know, something's going on. It's amazing. Like for the expo and the cruise to sell in no time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be damn near record time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I kind of expected to have to get general admission because we still haven't recovered financially from a bunch of things that happened recently. So when we got on to buy our tickets, everything was still available, but we barely scraped by getting the general admission.
Oh yeah, understandable.
Right, you know, I knew it was going to happen that way. So.
Yeah, I mean, because between that and the hotel room and
right.
You know, buying stuff there, then there's all these other things going on. You know, Horror Hound and. You know, in these months leading up, and yeah, it's a lot going on. So
yeah,
but yeah, and the one thing I thought was kind of weird is because you have to buy a general admission ticket for each day, so
yeah.
It's like $45 each instead of like just a 2-day pass, which I thought they would have done because I know they did that with the VIP. There was a, you know, double. And I think there was one for the platinum, but that one went quicker than anything else.
I think there was a 2-day pass. I think we got 2-day passes.
Oh, for the general?
Yeah, because it was only 160 for both of us.
Oh, wow. So then that even sold out.
Yeah.
Because all that's left now is just each day's separate ticket.
Wow.
And I feel like I still haven't ordered ours, but I feel like we need to, like, soon now, because I'm afraid those are even going to sell out. I don't know what they're limited to and all that, but,
right.
But, you know, down the road, if I really feel the need, I can always, like, usually they're always selling, like, the lanyard stuff. They'll sell them on the website afterwards for cheap, things like that. You know, things that I'm missing out on that usually comes with the VIP or the platinum. You know.
For sure.
But like I say, overall, it's all about the experience. There's so much going on, and you know, we were expecting and hoping that this would be a huge thing, being the 20th anniversary, and it definitely is.
Yeah.
So can't wait. You know, we're still 3 months away. Again, there's other things coming up before that. Apparently, Ace's new album will be out at the end of April, so looking forward to that. Get that signed at the expo. So let me think. What else is new? I know I feel like there's just a big list of stuff little topics that we've missed here and there.
The whole end of the road copyright thing happened, didn't it?
Oh God, yes. How could I forget that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure everyone knows at this point, 'cause there's been tons of talk about it. It popped up on the what's that called? It's like a registry or.
Yeah, some sort of copyright registry.
KISS put in to copyright the term "End of the Road," and it was for a musical performance. So definitely, it's not going to be like another box set musical thing, but an actual. And I think most people, it's kind of clear to me at least, and I think other people, what that probably means is no more touring. Like, they'll probably do one last full scale tour, and who knows, maybe this will be the one that they do all the stuff that we've been talking about, have Ace and all the other guys. But then after that, I don't think now that it's going to be necessarily an end to Kiss. Like, almost, like, I don't really think there is ever going to be an end to Kiss. It's just going to be, okay, we're done touring full scale. They may still do, festivals or random dates here and there, casinos maybe. But as far as the full scale, I think that'll be it. And then, Gene and Paul probably keep doing their things on the side. And then until, I guess, Gene and Paul just totally don't want to do it anymore, or they can't, that's when we'll see, again, there's that talk where Paul talks about being replaced. We'll see what happens at that point. But
right.
I don't know, what do you think? What do you read into that?
That's basically what I was too. At first I saw it, but I didn't read the article, so I was completely open to, oh, well, maybe they'll put out an album that's called that or something. But yeah, after I had read that it was a musical performance, that's basically what I expected, was that they'll do, because that seems to be what a lot of bands are doing now. Rush had announced they were going to do that before they had announced that they were more or less done. Hey, we're not breaking up, but we probably aren't going to go on any big adventures from this point forward. We might still make an album. We'll still play some shows. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of farewell tours going on this summer.
Right.
And then, not a farewell tour, but Metallica announced another USA tour. The closest date here is Cincinnati, and it's not even till January.
Wow.
So, and people are already flipping out. Like, I've been hearing people all day on Facebook today, I got my tickets and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's almost a year away. It's like, calm down.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be that way with Kiss. I mean, my God.
No.
Not a year in advance and acting like the concert's tomorrow or something.
Right.
Now, maybe if I was able to, suddenly get a little bit better tickets for the expo, I might be like that. But yeah, so, time will tell. Once an official announcement gets made, if, when that's going to be, who knows. They already have these handfuls of shows coming up overseas, so I don't know if they'll do it, maybe after all those are done or somewhere in between. So the Gene Simmons Vault thing, another topic. I've been seeing a lot of people posting videos that have attended the different things, and one that I just saw today was a really cool experience, man. It's it's cool that people have phones and things these days to catch these kind of moments, and they were doing the acoustic show. He didn't have Ace with him this time. I want to say, I'm pretty sure it was one of the guitar players that's in his solo band. They were up there playing. Well, then they brought this guy up out of the crowd, him and his girlfriend, and he opened up his vault, and they had a ring box planted in there, and he pulled it out and he proposed to her right there in front of Gene and everybody. Yeah, it was a really cool moment. I guess the ring box even had a little light on it when you opened it up, like the vault. But yeah, that was a cool little moment, man. So, best wishes to those people, and just the things that happen, Kiss or Kiss related. I mean, there's, you don't see that stuff happening with a lot of these other bands, with meet and greets or things like that. It doesn't have that family vibe as much as you get with Kiss or just the members of Kiss.
Right. And I don't know if we could turn this into a full topic, but it was an interesting idea to explore at least. Actually, it would sort of tie into what we were just talking about. Um, what would happen if Paul and Gene got, say dudes my age or something to
Mm.
replace them, and they decided to basically change what Kiss is musically, but because they're Kiss now, that's just how it is. We talked about would Paul and Gene stick around, and would they nix that sort of idea, that drastic of a change, or would they be totally on board with it? Or would they even stick around and care, or would they say, "Here's Kiss, do with it, let it be the new thing. It's yours now." And what if whatever they changed it to was completely awful?
That is true. That's a big risk.
Yeah,
I still think in my mind that when it comes down to it, Gene and Paul, what they truly probably want Nick and Evan to be the ones that take those spots.
yeah,
But they both don't want nothing to do with it, understandably.
right,
Not many of these, musicians, kids, actors, kids, whatever it is, they don't like to follow right in the footsteps or the shadow. They like to
yeah,
branch out and do their own type of thing, obviously. So
right,
I think that's truly the way they would rather it happen in their minds, but I don't see it happening unless there's just some sort of offer that they cannot refuse. But
right. Now that
yeah,
would be weird too to see them acting like that
yeah,
too. Like I don't know much about Evan Stanley, and the only thing I know about Nick Simmons is just from Family Jewels. But he doesn't seem like he has that same type of personality to play the demon. You know what I mean?
right, yeah. He's kind of laid back, and he's a funny guy. He's got a sense of humor, but
Yeah,
it's funny. Like when you have heard them play together, they're doing Zeppelin songs, so like we don't even know what it sounds like if they did a Kiss song, at least in public that we know of.
right. That would be interesting.
So I don't know. So here's kind of an idea. I'll get your input. Okay, so with this whole end of the road thing, say that is what happens. They're done touring, or even to that point where they are gonna replace Gene and Paul, or one or the other. What do you think is going to be the future? Given what that potential announcement could be.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be pretty crazy. I would imagine that if they made that announcement, if they are intending to go through with having people replace them, I think they've already got it lined up, and it's probably been happening behind the scenes for a long time.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I feel like they wouldn't want to break, so they would go ahead and get them ready so that when the announcement's made, just immediately, basically, the replacements step in.
Yeah.
But
That is a great point because they're obviously not going to just make a quick decision and bam, here it is.
right, right. I still think it might be a little up in the air. You know what I mean? Like I don't know for sure, even though they keep saying it, that they'll actually do it. Like it is an excellent idea and something that no band before has done, and probably no band again will ever do. But I can't imagine that handing that emotional bond to somebody else and saying it's yours now and truly meaning it.
I
I mean,
mean,
that would be heart wrenching.
yeah, it's like literally handing your baby off to someone. Like, here, you take over now. You take
Yeah,
care of it.
don't ruin it.
This is like crazy thinking, but it's like, say all that happens and they do have the new guys. Like, what happens? 30, 40 more years down the road where all of a sudden these guys are in that position. Like, it's
Yeah,
just crazy to even think that way, but
right,
it just makes you wonder, like, is it just going to keep being that sort of cycle?
right,
But yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, for all we know, they could already be working with, new guys, training them, and, Tommy might be working with them, especially with the song. Who knows?
right.
No clue. Um, and then another thing is like, Gene has suddenly become real chummy with Ace again, and apparently Vinny and a lot of them guys, but we haven't seen Paul yet interact with Ace much, other than when they did that video and song a few years back.
Yeah.
And then let alone Vinny, we haven't heard him say anything about Vinny or anything. So it's kind of like, is there starting to be a little bit of a rift, possibly, to where Paul isn't real happy with Gene doing all this stuff, and then being chummy with those guys, and who knows? I mean,
right.
Because Paul recently came out and just decided to, I guess clear the air, if you will, about who wrote "It's My Life" and
right.
The majority of it or whatever it was, and someone said, like, in the book for the Vault, he says that Paul, pretty much wrote whatever that song was called, and it came from this and all that. So it's not like he didn't really credit him, and that's kind of how Paul was, making it sound.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. And even then, it almost felt pointless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why even... Like, I understand wanting to set the record straight and everything, but was it so important that it needed to be put out there like it was a jab?
Yeah, it was almost like he just had to make his little point and stroke his ego a little bit, if you will, and
right.
Well, just so you know, I wrote this, and I pretty much wrote the song, and
yeah.
Just like he did the same thing with God of Thunder. I mean, hell, that wouldn't even been on the box set, the demo version, if it wasn't for Paul wanting to prove a point.
Right.
I mean, that right there. Nope, it's my song. Gene stole it from me, as they always said.
Wow.
But then they always sit there and say, like, Gene will say, "Oh, Paul took, some of my riffs and turned it into this," and back and forth all the time.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there is some sort of rift going on that we don't specifically know about, and yeah, who knows how that will affect, if anything.
They're just grumpy old men now.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I can't wrap my mind around the thought of, well, first of all, having the Demon and the Star Child be anybody other than those two, but the thought of, somebody else being in charge of the musical direction, and, there being a potential massive shift, and then, how does that work with the older Kiss songs? Does Kiss basically just become a totally different band, but with that name and with those 4 makeup designs? Yeah, what if we all hate it? Yeah, I think that would create a pretty huge issue.
That's another point I didn't think of is, how drastic could the sound of the music start changing when you have different guys writing it? I mean, this stuff could definitely lose its usual Kiss sound, again, unless they're gonna, kind of have a hand in the songwriting as long as they're around.
Right.
Or if you ask me, the guys that are doing Classic 78 is the closest thing to it.
Yeah.
That, to me, that would be the most ideal new version, at least for the songwriting, because they could keep it, sounding true to what it's supposed to be.
Right. I would think they would want, and they're so unpredictable too, which is strange. You know what I mean? Like I would think they would want to seek out somebody who they know is going to kind of keep what they had already done in mind, so that it's still recognizably the same band. But you never know. I almost feel like they're just as likely to purposely go out and find somebody as different as they can.
That very well could be. I mean, they may turn it into something more like Wicked Lester for all we know. I mean,
right. And how strange that would be. And then how do they do old Kiss songs? Like just say that the style drastically changes for these new guys. When they go out and perform, do they do the old songs at all? If they do they sound like the old songs, or do they do like their new genre versions of the old songs?
Right, and
Right.
that would be another hard pill to swallow because
Yeah.
it's like, it's one thing like the way the band plays certain things a little different now. That's one thing, but man, if if they were doing a whole different style of it, like
Yeah.
Kiss goes trance, techno or something.
Oh man. Yeah, and that would just, I mean, from my personal point of view, be awful to the point of like, I would suddenly get on board with all those people who've been saying all those years that Eric and Tommy, that's not Kiss anymore, that Kiss ended after Psycho Circuit, then I'd be there being like, no, Kiss ended with Monster, and what a strange thought.
These guys are scabs.
Yeah.
He's up there pretending to be Tommy.
Now that's even a stranger thought.
Right.
The only true Catman will be Eric Singer.
The feline. Yeah, definitely just another one of them things. It's like, I've said before, it's like I'm kind of excited to know how that is going to play out, but I'm not in a hurry for it at the same time.
Right.
It's like enjoying it while we have it. Keep it going. If they are going to do the one last full scale tour, and if this is going to be the last time we'll ever see them anywhere close to here, then I'll go to as many as I can for that tour.
Right. Here.
Pep.
Our special guest for this episode.
Hey, big Pip Hart.
Is Bruce Kulick. Get it?
Pip Kulick.
Don't show your butt to the camera. This is a PG show.
So, Pip, that solo you played on Unholy.
Yeah.
Do it.
Like
Do it.
Oh. All right.
Do it.
Get down here, you dummy. You see, too, somebody made some really cool artwork. I don't know if it was official, but it was on one of those End of the Road things that I read, where it was like the Love Gun cover, but they had their backs turned, and it was the Modern lineup.
Oh, I think I saw something like that.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, too, where it was just like, I want to say it was the logo, like the one that has like the different, individual lights. And they all had their backs turned, too. But it looked like it just had like fog and smoke kind of around. It looked really cool. Like,
yeah,
it almost looked like an official like picture or poster at first. I had to double check. I was like, oh shit, did they already announce it?
Yeah.
And if they were to like swerve us and it completely means something different, I have no idea what it could even be, because it just sounds like an obvious answer as what that is.
Right. Right.
Like, End of the Road. Maybe that means they're going to cover the Boys to Men song on the next. That'll be the new single. That's what it is.
Oh, that'd be so weird.
We broke the curse, or we broke the riddle right here on the show.
Yep, you heard it here first, folks.
Now we need to play the Peace Cells. Dun, 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 dun. You hear it first.
Oh.
3 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I still gotta say, though, and I've said it before, but I hope, as fitting as I could see it, them thinking it would be, I really hope that this isn't another reunion. I mean, to be completely honest, personally, I would have no interest in that at all. I still don't. I don't hear Ace playing that well, and we talked about Peter doing that Strutter, which was really good, but
Right.
would he be able to do a whole performance? And I don't know. After what they dealt with on the first reunion, I just feel like it would be mostly a disservice, and it would be them proving to everybody why they need to stop.
True. My opinion and preference is just do practically a clone of the Unplugged, the way that was done.
Yes.
Except this would be the full scale, with everything, the makeup, costumes.
Yeah.
Have the band as it is now, and then bring out, Ace and Peter or even like Peter for a few songs, and then Ace, and then everybody, for an ending. You know, and it definitely doesn't have to be the whole tour either. If they just want to do it for maybe maybe a handful of like the bigger cities or something like that, if that, you know, something along those lines, especially New York, of course.
Oh, yeah. Film it, make it a big special.
Right, right.
That would be yeah.
Make that a live 5, you know,
Yeah,
the end of the road.
absolutely. That would be, and they need to do, you know, bits of songs from each era, which would be cool. You know, and then of course it opens the. It's too bad that, you know, Eric Carr has passed and Mark St. John has passed. To have everybody there would have been ultimate.
I still think that would be the best time to do a hologram, is have one of Eric and maybe even Mark.
Yeah.
And if they were like, I could just like I can almost get goosebumps getting a mental image of everybody on stage all at once, and then those 2 holograms too, and they're all doing "God Gave Rock and Roll to You" or whatever type of song, you know, like something epic. And
right,
I can just almost picture that, and it gives me chills just thinking about it.
Sure.
But see, then it comes down to that whole thing with Peter and Eric, Tommy and Ace. Like, I don't personally think that both would be wearing the same makeup, you know, for each, you know, character. So it's like, then what do you do? Does Tommy and Eric agree to play without makeup, or does Eric put the fox on, and Tommy maybe puts on the Vinny makeup if Vinny isn't there?
Right.
Or it's like, you know, what do we do? 'Cause I really don't think that would look right, having, you know, two guys up there dressed in the same character, you know, for each. It would literally feel like you're watching Kiss Meets the Phantom or something. You know, the big fight, like you'd be waiting for a big fight to break out or something. And,
right.
you know, Gene grabs Sam the Serpent and breathes the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just there's just so many, like, when you really start getting into it and thinking, there's all these little, you know, little details and if, ands, and buts that pop up that, and it's like, how would they do this? And, you know, it probably is more of a technical nightmare than what it sounds like to try to put something like that together, if that's what they are trying to do.
Right.
It's like, oh, like, who's going to play during what songs, and what songs are we going to do, and what are you going to wear, what are we going to do here, and then all the rehearsing and everything, you know, whatever goes into it.
Right. Right.
And you know, as much everyone's going to ask these questions at the expo, to everybody, that we ain't going to hear any kind of answer. They're not going to tell us there.
No.
It'll be another wait and see thing, or, well, Tommy ain't going to be there. I was going to say it'd be another, oh, the Kissology's 90% done. That's been, what, 3-4 years now?
At least, yeah. Yeah. Now, if whatever it is doesn't involve Ace at all, I could see Ace maybe saying that. You know, don't look at me. I don't know a thing about it. It doesn't have a thing to do with me. If that's the case. Then
again, even if Ace knows, he's liable to not have any idea anyway, just because he's Ace.
Did you see that clip of him and Gene from St. Louis? Or St. Louis, wherever it was that they were, where Ace, they're trying to play something, him and Gene, and Ace says, "Oh, I don't remember how to play that. I don't remember songs I wrote yesterday." And Gene goes, "Do you know what city we're in right now?" And Ace goes, "What?" I actually think Ace didn't hear him, but the time was perfect.
He's very hard of hearing right now.
Yeah.
Like, we'll have to count how many times he says, "Huh, I can't hear you."
Yeah.
During the Q&A or whatever he does, you know.
Yeah.
Performance, yeah, you know, not to mention, you know, they did announce those performances, you know, each night. So, you know, some people are only going to be there, you know, one day or the other. Some of them are there both days. No tribute bands this year. They're, what is it? It's basically a Fraley's Comet reunion without Anton Figgs. Apparently he's not going to be there for Sunday, so Eric's going to play with them. And then Bruce and Bob, I believe, is on Saturday, and Ace, I think, is going to do something that night too. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be, forgot to mention that too. So just so everyone knows. So again, if you haven't got your tickets, jumping back to that, hurry up and get them, because all that's left general admission, and definitely, I would book your hotel room almost before you even buy tickets, because that's kind of the most important thing right now.
Right.
Trying to land a room. So we're getting close. 3 months.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of getting close, I guess we could do a little self-promotion.
It's true.
The tribute band that Luke and I are in, Sweet Pain, located here in the Greenville, Dayton, Ohio area. We got a show coming up. Well, actually, I guess by the time this airs, it'll be, I believe, next Saturday.
Yeah.
A week from when this airs. March 10th at Greenville, Ohio. It's at a place called Sloopy's. If you check out our Facebook page, we've got the information on there. Would love to see some people show up. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
We're also in talks with a Dio tribute band about maybe hooking up with them, doing a line of shows and whatnot. So,
And that'll be excellent. That'll be super cool.
yeah, that would be awesome. That'd be a hell of a double bill.
Yes.
So, keep on the Facebook page, and we'll make announcements on here too as things go by. So, yeah, really excited, getting ready for that show. Huh?
We're looking a little scruffy. Got the show coming up.
I'm not ready.
Oh no. It's another one of those getting ready for the Kiss show nightmares.
Yes. All right. So we're gonna wrap this one up a little bit shorter this week. Just catching back up, getting back in the roll of things, kind of regroup the show a little bit and get it going back to full force. Mm-hmm. So once again, we are in the hunt once again for another co-host. If interested, get a hold of us. And we do have more guests coming up. Hope you enjoyed last week's interview with Big John. So anything else you want to wrap up with?
Nothing I can think of.
All right. So until next week then, we will see y'all there.